Assistant Professor, School of Management, Maharaja Agarsen University. Today, we will discuss about the Sales of Goods Act 1930. So, our table of contents are Introduction to the Sales of Goods Act 1930. Then we will discuss the Sales and Agreement to Sell. Then important terms in the Sale of Goods Act 1930. In the last, we will discuss the essentials of sale of contract. So first of all, Sale of Goods Act 1930. The Sale of Goods Act 1930 primarily deals with the laws, rules and regulations governing the sale of goods in India. When a buyer and the seller make a contract between them, then there may arise some kind of miscommunication discrepancies. So to resolve this kind of discrepancies or to resolve their issue, Sales of Goods Act is formed. The act was formed in the year 1930. The title of the act is the Sale of Goods Act 1930. The act was commenced on the first day of July 1930. The act is extended to whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now we will discuss the definition of the Sales of Goods Act. According to Section 4, subsection 1 of the Sales of Goods Act 1930, contract of sale of goods is a contract whereby the seller transfer or agrees to transfer the property in goods to the buyer for a price. A contract of sale may be absolute or conditional. A contract of sale is a valid contract when it fulfills all the valid essentials of the Indian Contract Act 1872. Now we will discuss the sale and agreement to sell. When under a contract of sale, the property in the goods is transferred from the buyer to the seller. The contract is called as sale. It is also called as absolute sale. For example, a counter sale of in a shop is an example of actual sale when the immediate property or the goods is transferred from the seller to the buyer. Next is agreement to sell, when the transfer of the property in the goods is to take place at a future time or subject to some condition thereafter to be fulfilled. The contract is called as agreement to sell. An agreement to sell becomes a sale when the time elapsed or the attached condition with the contracts are fulfilled by both the parties. So it is called conditional sale when the condition related to the contract is fulfilled or the time is elapsed in the future. And next, the important terms under Section 2 of Sales of Goods Act 1930. In this act, following are the important definition which comprises the whole of the act. Number one, the buyer. Buyer means a person who buys or agree to buy goods. Then number two, delivery. Delivery means voluntary transfer of possession from one person to another person. Delivery means the delivery of goods or where contract is made. Third one is deliverable state. Deliverable state means the state of the good. The buyer would under the contract be bound to take the delivery of them. For example, if you go to a shop to buy rice, then you can take the rice in the good quality. So that should the good should be in a deliverable state. The next one is document of title of goods. It includes bill of lading, dog warrant, warehouse, certificates, railway receipts. The document of title of goods helps to show as a proof in the contract of sales of goods. The next one is fault. Fault means wrongful act or default. The sixth one is future goods. Future goods to be manufactured or produced or acquired by the seller after making of the contract of sale. The future goods are the part of the agreement to sell. In agreement to sell, where goods are transferred or their possession is transferred in the future. The seventh one is goods. Goods mean every kind of movable property other than actionable claims and money, and includes stock and shares, growing crops, grass, and things attached to or forming part of the land, which are agreed to be sold before sale or under the contract of sale. Goods means every kind of property, but doesn't include the bill of exchange, promissory notes, immovable property, and money itself. And it is specific goods. Specific goods means goods identified and agreed upon at the time of the contract of sale is made. When the buyer specify the quantity, quality, and the numbers of the goods to the seller, these are called the specific goods. The next one is the property. Property means general property in goods, not merely a special property. Property means the possession of the goods. The next one is quality of goods. Quality of goods includes the condition and the state of the good according to the which the contract is made. The last one is seller. Seller means a person who sells or who sells the goods to the buyer for a particular price or a consideration. So next we will discuss the essential of the contract of sale. So number one, two parties. In contract of sale, there must be a seller as well as a buyer. Buyer means a person who buy or agree to buy goods. Seller means a person who sell or agree to sell the goods. The buyer and the seller, the two parties must be in the contract of sale. A single party cannot create a contract of sale of goods act. The number two is goods. There must be some goods. Goods means every kind of movable property, which is the subject matter of the contract of goods act. It includes money. It does not include money, actionable claims, and immovable property, but also include the stock and shares, growing crops, grass, and things attached to or forming part of the land which are agreed to be served before sale and or under the contract of sale. The goods are come under the section 2, subsection 7 of the Sales of Goods Act. For example, electricity in the form of energy is also a good. Water and gas is also a good. Lottery ticket are also considered as goods. The third one is transfer of property. Transfer of property means the transfer of ownership or the possession of goods to the buyer. When the immediate transfer of goods to the buyer, it is called sale. Or when the property is transferred in the future or the possession and the ownership will transfer in the future, it is called agreement to sell, as we discussed it earlier. The next one is price. Price must be Price means money, consideration for sale of goods. The price must be for the consideration in the contract of sale. When the consideration is only good, it amounts to a barter. For example, if I want to buy a rice and the another party send wheat to me, it means we are exchanging or there is a barter system. In Sales of Goods Act, there should be the price for the consideration. There is no barter system or exchange in the Act. There is no consideration. It amounts to gift or not sale. When we don't pay any kind of amount or any kind of consideration, it means it is a gift or a sale. The last one is essential elements of a valid contract. All the essential element of valid contract which cover under section 10 of Indian Contract Act 1872 must also be present in the sales of goods act. The essential elements include the lawful offer of the parties, the lawful acceptance of the parties, competency of the parties, free consent, legality of the objective, a valid contract. So all these are the essential of a valid contract. Thank you.